Why do we give? It's a question that is personal to each of us, but also one that unites us all. Especially tonight, as we celebrate National Philanthropy Day. Thank you for joining us as we honor the San Diego changemakers who are building a brighter tomorrow.
Good evening, and welcome to the greatest show on earth. Tonight, I'm excited for you to join me for AFP San Diego's National Philanthropy Day, where we honor the generosity and wonder of giving for the greater good within the San Diego, Imperial County, and Baja California region. And where, when we meet in person, it seems more like a reunion, a chance to gather with our beloved, amazing colleagues. I'm Laura Rice, and I have the honor of serving as the 2021 president of the Association of Fundraising Professionals, San Diego chapter. I'm excited to be here tonight with Monica Medina, former Director of Community Development and Engagement for KPBS, and our amazing National Philanthropy Day Planning Chair.
Thanks, Laura. Actually, I've always thought of the National Philanthropy Day Awards as more like the Oscars, a red carpet sort of thing. It's a who's who in the philanthropic world of San Diego. Know what I mean? How did each person make a difference? Who gave this year and to whom? Frankly, it's the most incredible event of the year, if you ask me.
Yes, Monica, I agree. This year's theme is Giving for Good, a brighter tomorrow.
A brighter tomorrow?
Yes, a brighter tomorrow, especially after everything our community and our world has been through over the past 2 years.
You can say that again.
It has been remarkable to see people come together in so many ways. And tonight we get to celebrate a few of them, from high-profile acts of selflessness to the quiet acts of a neighbor or service group. It takes all of us to create positive change. And Monica, this year we're televising the event instead of doing it in person. That's because of, well, you know.
You mean the pandemic we've been living with for nearly 2 years? That thing has us social distancing and wearing masks and dining outdoors?
Precisely, which is why we decided not to take any chances by holding National Philanthropy Day in person. Thank you to our guests for joining us tonight from the comfort of their own homes.
Speaking of which, remember the old days when we served a delicious lunch at the awards? Those were the days, am I right?
They sure were. We definitely look forward to when we can get together safely. Anyway, let's get on with the show.
For nearly 50 years, the San Diego chapter of AFP has served the region by advancing the very best practices and processes within philanthropy. Every year, we provide mentorship, host educational events, and deliver resources so that development professionals in our field can better serve their communities. And every year, our work continues to grow. With more than 300 members, our network spans all parts of the region and all areas of impact. Across San Diego County, our members are working to feed the hungry, educate our youth, and protect our environment. San Diego AFP members are also among a family of 230 chapters worldwide who are all committed to growing the nonprofit community. Together, we are working to advance philanthropy through advocacy, research, education, and certification programs. Here in San Diego, we pride ourselves on being one of the most generous regions in the world, and that kindness shows. Thanks to the hard work of many of the people joining tonight's celebration, the San Diego chapter of AFP has been in the spotlight as host of the International Conference, as recipient of awards for exemplary programs, and for new path-breaking initiatives. Our local leadership has also been represented at the highest levels, including the AFP International Chair. Time after time, San Diegans step up when the community needs them most, and we look forward to supporting our region's changemakers for another 50 years to come.
Wow, I didn't realize National Philanthropy Day is almost 50 years old.
Right? Through the decades, there's been tremendous progress locally towards AFP's vision of stimulating a world of generosity and positive social good through fundraising best practices.
And we've seen a lot of creativity when best practices no longer apply, including from our volunteers on our NPD Planning Committee, Honorary Committee, Resource Development Committee, and the AFP San Diego Board of Directors and its committees. Let's take a moment to thank everyone whose dedication and hard work made tonight possible.
As an all-volunteer organization, the San Diego chapter of AFP relies on the generosity of dozens of individuals. Today wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the Planning Committee and Honorary Committee. Their leadership and countless volunteer hours are the magic sauce that makes this event special. We also want to extend a massive thank you to our Resource Development Committee. At the start of each year, they are the people who work hard behind the scenes so that we can put on a National Philanthropy Day to remember. And last, but certainly not least, we want to thank and honor our entire AFP San Diego board. This is the group of leaders who develop our great educational events, our mentorship program, and all the other initiatives we are able to provide to thousands of San Diegans each year.
I am so pleased to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, a woman many of us have had the opportunity to work with during her nearly 25 years of service as president and CEO of the Rancho Santa Fe Foundation. Christy Wilson is a force for good.
During her tenure, the Rancho Santa Fe Foundation created its Women's Fund, the Patriots Connection, North County Senior Connections, and collaborated to establish the North County COVID-19 Response Fund last year. Christy has facilitated millions of dollars of support to impact countless numbers of people during her career and will be greatly missed.
Good evening. And on behalf of the San Diego Foundation, the Jewish Community Foundation, and Rancho Santa Fe Foundation, we want to thank our local chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals for giving our community foundations the honor of co-sponsoring the 2021 National Philanthropy Day. Beth, Mark, and I, along with our fantastic teams, are so privileged to work with the fine development professionals and philanthropists who are gathered here together tonight. I would also like to thank the Honorary Committee, led by Connie Matsui, for their commitment to making Philanthropy Day 2021 a stellar event, and a special recognition for this year's honorees who have given so much of themselves in so many ways. You are a credit to our sector and to all of San Diego County, and we are grateful to you for the inspiration you provide, and how we dearly wish that we were shaking hands, hugging, and sharing tables with our colleagues as in years past, hopefully soon. Personally, I've been extraordinarily privileged to lead the Rancho Santa Fe Foundation for 24 years. It was a different world when I started in 1997. Emails and computers were rare, and cell phones were not very smart. Ever since, the work of development professionals remains clear, connecting philanthropists with causes they are passionate about and inspiring change in our community. Over the years, I've witnessed development professionals who consistently rise above their job descriptions to find new and creative ways to engage with community partners and philanthropists to create lasting programs that benefit all of our San Diego region. These last 2 years have demonstrated that even more profoundly. Although this is without question the greatest global health issue I have experienced in my lifetime, it is not the first time I have lived and worked through events that have challenged the very fabric of our community. 9/11, the 2007 Witch Creek Fire, the 2008 recession, to name a few. What I've come to understand is that the power of community is absolute when circumstances mandate leadership and action. Each of you knows this as well as I. Over the last 20 months, like most of you, I've spent a great deal of time reflecting on the issues we face as a community as a result of the global pandemic. In almost a moment, the world as we knew it changed forever. The challenges we were confronted with as individuals and as a community were unparalleled, and yet I witnessed our community mobilize really very quickly to address the greatest and most urgent needs of our neighbors and communities. During my reflection time, I think about what makes and motivates leaders to take action. I believe that leaders instinctively know that change will only happen when we take charge of our future and work towards building the tomorrow we want to see. As leaders, we must contribute to something outside of ourselves in service to the world and the community in which we live, work, learn, and play. I marvel at those who wake up every day to work towards a vision for the San Diego region in which everyone can thrive, whose passions drive them to work for solutions rather than criticizing the problems in our world, whose creativity is the genesis of new ideas and new ways of doing things. This is the leadership of people who do not sit on the sidelines. This is the work of people who care about humankind and use their time, talent, and treasure to enhance the life experience for those less fortunate. Leadership is critical to the work we do, but so is a strong belief in collaboration. We are better together. Over the last year, I've participated in several collaborations that did not exist prior to the pandemic. Once again, there was a critical need, and our community came together in a positive and impactful way. And part of the success of this new collaborative work was the necessity of those within the collaboration to listen to each other carefully and intentionally so that all voices were heard, respected, and trusted. Many of you have heard me say that fundraising is a contact sport. Well, that's true, but life is also a contact sport. Interpersonal relationships are fundamental to self-esteem, self-actualization, and well-being. Achieving these feelings of well-being in a virtual world is really difficult, but we must keep trying and honing our communication skills in this increasingly contactless world. So what does all this mean for me? Carpe diem. Seize the day. Is there any idea that's been circulating in your head for a while now? What about a partnership that you really think would be beneficial? Our community needs all your creativity and leadership to keep moving forward. What talents, time, and treasure do you have to offer? And with whom? And in what way will you share this? Especially in the virtual world in which we exist today. In conclusion, a message from Beth, Mark, and I would be to say, for this region to live up to its full potential requires all of us to work together. Today we celebrate our accomplishments to date. This is not the finish line. It does not mark the end of our work. National Philanthropy Day should magnify for all of us the significance of the nonprofit community to make a lasting difference in the lives of all who make their home here. Our greatest wish and aspiration for all of you is to follow your passion for philanthropy, the love of mankind. But please don't waste time. Philanthropists, please consider those areas for which you have great passion and redouble your efforts to ease pain and suffering and bring about better days for our region. CEOs, your fundraisers who bring in the charitable dollars to advance your mission need your support for their professional development. Please ask those staff members what tools they need to increase the capacity of your organization. Engage with AFP. Fundraisers, tell more stories of impact. Ask for bigger gifts than you think possible, and give as much love as possible to those donors. It has been the honor and privilege in my professional life to serve our community as President and CEO of Rancho Santa Fe Foundation. This experience has forever shaped me and redefined my approach to servant leadership. I am deeply grateful to have worked with the talented Rancho Santa Fe Foundation team, my counterparts Beth and Mark in your foundations. I have learned so much from all of you, each and every day. And to you AFP members and the philanthropic community, I challenge you to seize the day, seize an opportunity, and go out and make a difference. Carpe diem, and thank you.
Thank you, Christy. 2021 has been a noteworthy year in more ways than we can count. We'd like to now congratulate organizations who have made lasting impact in our region and celebrate their milestones and anniversaries.
Absolutely. And I'd like to personally thank our sponsors, whose generosity enables AFP San Diego to provide education, training, professional development, and mentorship throughout the year, supporting diverse nonprofit organizations.
For over a century, the nonprofit community in San Diego has served as a driving force for good in the region. This year, we recognize those organizations that are celebrating key milestones and anniversaries. Thank you to those and countless others that make a difference in San Diego every single day. From the fundraisers and volunteers to the program managers and board members, they work tirelessly to address the most pressing and urgent challenges. We'd also like to take this opportunity to say a special thank you to the organizations that help make tonight's virtual event possible. Our presenting sponsors, the San Diego Foundation, Jewish Community Foundation, and Rancho Santa Fe Foundation, are a big reason why our region is seen as one of the most generous in the country. San Diego is stronger thanks to their efforts to promote and grow philanthropy. We are grateful for their support. Thank you as well to our community champion sponsors, the Fundraising Academy and National University, San Diego Business Journal, SEMPRA, the CW San Diego, and UC San Diego. To these organizations and the dozens more that have sponsored National Philanthropy Day 2021, we cannot express our gratitude enough. As we reflect on the meaning of giving and celebrate the selfless acts of philanthropy and volunteerism, it is important to remember your investment is making the fundraising profession and nonprofit community in our region stronger. This virtual celebration would not be possible without you. Thank you.
What remarkable organizations we have in this community. My name is Connie Matsui, and I am this year's National Philanthropy Day Honorary Chair. It was my great pleasure to work with our tremendous honorary committee to select this year's honorees. As the board co-chair for Forever Balboa Park, the board chair for Halozyme Therapeutics, as well as a past outstanding organizational volunteer honoree, I have been fortunate to work with so many nonprofit organizations. Tonight's honorees truly represent the most dedicated and exceptional people and organizations the San Diego region has to offer, and it was a privilege to learn their stories. Each of our honorees have been nominated by their peers for having both a positive impact on San Diego and for inspiring others to do the same. This year, we're celebrating honorees in 7 categories, selected from 61 nominations, put forth by over 100 nominators. The breadth of community represented in this group demonstrates how, when we each bring our strengths together, we can accomplish amazing things. As AFP knows well, as we've all seen this year, where incredible organizations connect extraordinary people, we all move forward toward a brighter tomorrow. Before we celebrate our honorees, we will first take a few moments to remember some of our region's most admired and impactful community leaders who passed away this year.
Though no longer in our midst, their contributions endure. Tonight, as we celebrate the accomplishments of our fellow philanthropists and San Diegans, we also acknowledge the passing of those whose lives were dedicated to making our region a brighter place for everyone in it. Father Joseph Carroll was a visionary and leader in San Diego. As founder and president of Father Joe's Village, Carroll selflessly and tirelessly served our community. He dedicated his life to ending homelessness and serving the poor and impoverished people in San Diego. When he was tasked with finding a better option for residents in his community experiencing poverty and homelessness, he rose to the occasion. What started as Father Joe handing out peanut butter sandwiches expanded into a $12 million facility that housed families, provided critical care, and offered on-site job training. In addition, Father Joe created numerous initiatives, including the Therapeutic Child Care Center, the Village Health Center, and the Transitional Housing Program for families. His work has touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in San Diego, and Father Joe's Village continues to help tens of thousands of neighbors end their homelessness for good. Former president of San Diego Grantmakers, Nancy Jameson, was a philanthropic trailblazer in San Diego and served the community for more than 14 years. Nancy inspired those around her to believe that every day we can contribute to making things better. Her impact will be felt in our community for years to come. Nancy's sense of joy and curiosity about life was infectious. Nancy was the epitome of grace, authenticity, and leadership. She grew, she imagined, and she believed in the best of us all. Her commitment to social justice and equity will forever live on. Michael Jesser loved family, community, Israel, and Judaism. As president and CEO of the Jewish Federation of San Diego County, Michael had a unique warmth and special charm that allowed him to connect with everyone he engaged with. He was a true leader, a fervent community builder, and a consummate family man. During his tenure, Michael raised millions of dollars on behalf of countless people whose lives were made safer, healthier, more Jewish, and more joyful because of his efforts. He also elevated the Federation while leading the organization to new heights of respect as one of San Diego's main homes for the Jewish community. His legacy is one that all of us can be proud of and will greatly benefit the community for years to come. Donna Marie Robinson was a fierce and passionate advocate for women's health and health equity. Born in Chicago, Donna Marie had a successful career in banking before she decided to retire and dedicate her life to philanthropic pursuits. For nearly a decade, Donna Marie mentored youth, fought for better health outcomes for children and families, funded scholarships for local students, and helped enact change on a host of other causes and issues she cared about. Donna Marie's unbounded optimism, incredible energy for life, and deep love for family and friends will be sorely missed.
What a profound impact each of you has had on our lives and our community. We will miss you and continue to expand the lasting legacies you built. Next, I am very pleased to introduce our honorees for the evening. Please give a warm welcome to Mitch Mitchell, the Senior Vice President of Diversity and Community Partnerships at Sempra, who is joining us from the lovely Ocean Discovery Institute, and will introduce our first honoree.
AFP San Diego is committed to the principles of diversity, inclusion, equity, and access. At Sempra, we live this value every day by encouraging a work environment where all voices and perspectives are heard and appreciated. That's why I am so pleased to present this award, which honors those who are dedicated to this work and serves as a reminder to us all that we must continue to strive every day for a more equitable and just society. I'm honored to introduce this year's outstanding organization for diversity and inclusion, Reality Changers. 20 years ago, Reality Changers was created with a singular vision to increase college access for underrepresented youth. Since then, the entire team at Reality Changers has helped thousands of local students become the first in their families to attend college. Their innovative and inclusive programs are breaking down the institutional barriers that prevent young San Diegans from achieving success in school as well as in their careers. Congratulations and thanks to Reality Changers for increasing educational equity in San Diego.
We are committed to supporting our students. We're going to walk alongside them through this journey to help them when things come up and they're not sure how to deal with them, when issues come up in the politics, issues come up in the world, issues come up at their school, that we can support them and help them navigate through those systems.
Reality Changers strives to prepare young people to conquer barriers and become first-generation college graduates and agents of change in their communities.
We start working with students in the 8th grade to help them become prepared to become academically strong and sound. So by the time they reach high school, they've been able to pull their GPAs up. They've created a cohort for themselves of like-minded individuals that support each other so that they can earn scholarships to go to 4-year and 2-year institutions. We work with them after school to help them with their academic studies, from math to science, English. We also give them a mentor who also works with them just to help on some everyday type things.
Reality Changers embraces principles of diversity and inclusion within the organization. 67% of team members are people of color.
The reason this is so important for us to do this is as the world continues to grow and evolve, we become a global community. We want our students to understand that they are just a microcosm of what is represented in this world. So I believe that the best way for us to grow in diversity, equity, and inclusion is continuing to spread the word through our students. Our students are going to be those change agents in the world. We want to equip them with an arsenal to be able to have hard conversations, to navigate through things that maybe may seem uncomfortable at times, or they've had challenges before, but when you're comfortable speaking about them and you have information to support what you're speaking on, it's only going to make our students stronger.
To advance educational opportunities, Reality Changers partners with many organizations, including UC San Diego, Point Loma Nazarene University, San Diego State University, University of San Diego, and the San Diego Unified School District.
I want people to know that we are a true partner in this work, and we would love to continue to partner with strong organizations that believe that it is important to create first-generation college graduates. What I hope that our students from Reality Changers will convey to the world is that this program helped them realize who they were as young people, help them realize that they can change their realities, they can impact change. When we have more students who have college degrees in our area, that's going to change the reality of our community, our city, our state, and our country. So I hope that students will leave here and say, Reality Changers impacted me to be a change agent in this world.
San Diego is a community rich with role models, many of whom are the youngest among us. Each year, the Award for Outstanding Youth Volunteer reminds us that no matter how old we are, we have the potential to change lives. This year, I'm proud to introduce our honoree, Megan Laplante. For more than a decade, Megan has been a model volunteer in the community through her work with Girl Scouts. 2 years ago, she took it a step further. Megan's younger brother was diagnosed with a rare genetic disease that causes bone marrow failure. Recognizing that her brother was not alone, Megan launched an organization to raise awareness around the need for bone marrow donors. Since then, she has hosted registration drives across the region to find matches for those in need of transplants. Join me in congratulating and thanking our outstanding youth volunteer, Megan Laplante, for her life-saving work in San Diego.
Megan Laplante is truly a remarkable and inspiring young woman.
So I started volunteering when I was 5. I had first moved from Pennsylvania to California and I didn't have many friends, so my mom decided to put me into Girl Scouts, and that was really when I met my first group of real friends.
For more than 12 years, Megan has devoted herself to improving lives through service projects as a Girl Scout.
Being with that group, it was really inspiring, especially at a young age, because they always told us that one person can make a huge impact on the world. And so that really empowered us to start with, small acts of kindness.
For her Bronze Award project, Megan and her troop built a water-wise garden with a peace pole, etched with the message, "May peace prevail on earth," in 8 different languages.
My Silver Award project through Girl Scouts, that was about homelessness, but it was a lot more than that. We got to experience other people's stories, and we got to really spend time with people and learn one-on-one what happens for people who are homeless. And we learned a lot about that, and we learned a lot about ourselves too. But my definite favorite project was my Gold Award, because it was really directly related to me and my family, and I was able to see what happened to people who were directly affected by me and my work and my project, and I think that inspired me to keep on going.
Megan's Gold Award project to earn Girl Scouting's highest honor was a quest close to her heart and soul.
My brother was diagnosed with dyskeratosis congenita, which it's a very rare genetic disorder and it can cause bone marrow failure. I didn't know anything really about bone marrow transplants until my brother was diagnosed, and I got to meet a lot of other people who have DC, which is what my brother has. I really got to see children and adults and people from all over the world who were struggling and nobody really knew. And so that kind of was what initially inspired me to start this project.
Megan created SWITCHFOOT for Life, a nonprofit organization that uses web-based and social media platforms to raise awareness about the need for bone marrow donors.
So SWITCHFOOT for Life was an organization that I founded. Basically, it's a nonprofit organization that it shares a lot of information about how to register as a donor and why being a donor is so important and how it can save people's lives.
Megan began hosting bone marrow drives at San Diego Padres games until the pandemic hit.
So since I was at home, I decided I couldn't do any more in-person events, so I decided to bring SWITCHFOOT for Life to the internet, and so that's when I started creating a website. I was able to get hundreds of viewers every single day, and that was really amazing for me. Now that we're slowly starting to come out of the pandemic, I'm really excited to start bringing SWITCHFOOT for Life to more in-person events, especially when I go to college. The most rewarding part of doing a project is just seeing the people that you help and seeing the faces and seeing how grateful they are and how much I've helped just either strangers or friends or family. I love how I can help other people.
Her high school organization, the Bone Marrow Transplant Club, will carry on her legacy while she studies at the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
I've asked some of my friends who are in that club to keep going and keep continuing educating other people.
Megan plans on reaching out to fellow students and residents in Birmingham, Alabama, while mapping out her future goals.
I want to be continuing my Gold Award project for however long that I can. I mean, I think that project can build even more than it already has, and building SWITCHFOOT for Life to Alabama, which is where I'm going, or beyond that to other countries or anywhere really. It's just the possibilities are endless. I'm going to be studying genetics in college right now, and I don't know what exactly in genetics I want to do. I'm just so interested in all of it. I'm just excited to try everything that's possible and to see how much I can accomplish in my life.
Megan's drive, compassion, and inspiration is rooted in her family.
I think my family is probably the most influential to me because they're just amazing people. I mean, they're so smart and determined, and they have shown me what it is to be passionate and what it is to be resilient throughout your life and how to reach your goals and also how to ask for help. I think my brother was really inspiring to me too, just the way that, he continues to be, running around playing soccer even with this rare disease that is really frightening. He's such a big light in my life, and so is everyone in my family.
Our next award honors an outstanding grant-making organization. This award goes to a private foundation, a civic organization, or a grant-making service organization with a financial commitment to philanthropy. Nominated by Neighborhood Healthcare, this year's recipient is the San Diego Foundation. When COVID-19 hit San Diego, the foundation mobilized to create the Community Response Fund. The fund provided more than $67 million to hundreds of nonprofits across our region. The foundation granted millions more to help bolster K-12 learning for nearly 20,000 area students. And it awarded $3.4 million in college scholarships to first-generation and low to middle-income students. Together with the Central San Diego Black Chamber, the foundation created the Black Community Investment Fund to advance social justice and to build strong communities. So congratulations to the San Diego Foundation for being named the 2021 Outstanding Grant-Making Organization. Thank you for inspiring enduring philanthropy and for enabling community solutions. Congratulations.
The San Diego Foundation works continuously to improve the lives of people in our community, even during extremely challenging times.
Everything changed for the San Diego Foundation in March of 2020. We all knew that the pandemic was starting to move from Asia into the United States, and we knew this was going to be coming to San Diego. Community leaders had reached out to the San Diego Foundation to say, what can you do and how can you help lead to bring people together to help support individuals who may be in harm's way from this terrible pandemic.
The San Diego Foundation immediately launched a diverse multi-sector consortium to create the San Diego COVID-19 Community Response Fund.
So within 4 days, in March of 2020, we put together the San Diego COVID-19 Community Response Fund. And through that effort, we launched with $1.35 million that Monday morning. But then over the next 14, 15 more months, we were able to bring together more than $67 million to bring comfort, relief, and hope to those who are suffering so badly in our region.
The Foundation's emergency funding efforts were crucial in our community's ability to face the numerous challenges caused by the pandemic in our county.
What we did is we were able to bring together more than $67 million in contributions from government, corporations, foundations, and individuals just like you and me who said, we want to make sure that those in San Diego have hope, relief, and comfort to get through these times. These were the nonprofits that we would never have known of before the pandemic, and now they're very much a part of the web of nonprofit support that we turn to on a regular basis. And I'm proud to say that as of the end of August of 2021, every single dollar in that fund has been given to nonprofits who are on the front lines of COVID relief. Another moment that brought me to my knees is when I received a call in December of 2020, and the woman at the other end of the phone identified herself as working for Mackenzie Scott, one of the newest and most significant philanthropists in the country. She told me that they had scoured 6,500 potential nonprofits that they were going to support, whittled the list down to 384, and they had selected the San Diego Foundation to receive an $8 million unrestricted gift to bring COVID relief to the community however we wish to do so.
The San Diego Foundation's impact on our community is immeasurable.
The San Diego Foundation does not exist to solve problems in and of itself. What we do is we exist to listen to the community, to put design thinking to its best use, to figure out from those who need support and want support, what's the best way that we can leverage these dollars to make a difference in their lives. It just shines a bright light on what is possible when philanthropists come together and say, how can we address some of the issues here in San Diego?
The Association of Fundraising Professionals prioritizes positive social change in our communities by promoting best practices and development. That's why this next award is so special. Each year, the recipient of the Outstanding Development Professional Award embodies the very best of philanthropy and nonprofit leadership. This year, I'm proud to recognize Letty Martinez for her ongoing and outstanding commitment to fundraising in our region. Her experience with cross-border philanthropy has sparked cooperation among nonprofits in both the U.S. and Mexico, and her leadership was paramount in shaping binational initiatives during the pandemic. Congratulations, Letty, and thank you for representing the very best of philanthropy.
Leticia Martinez Hermosillo has a deep, intimate connection to two countries.
We used to work at the dumps in Mexico City where kids were born and raised between trash. It was hard. It was hard to see those kids. They didn't have a birth certificate. They didn't have an identity. And to see that it was part of their lives and that was normal for them. And then being able to bring together such amazing organizations to provide them education, food, nutrition. For me, that was like really moving.
As Director of Philanthropy for International Community Foundation, Letty cultivates cross-border philanthropy in innovative ways. She fosters relationships with organizations that focus on reunification of separated families, deported adults and unaccompanied minors, refugees, and vulnerable communities.
I care about human rights. I care about my country. I care about Mexico. So when I found the International Community Foundation, it was like the perfect match. In Mexico, the response of the donor, it's different. They want to see a direct impact into the beneficiary, and they trust the person. They trusted me, they trusted Letty, and that's amazing. It feels amazing, but it's not about me. It's about those kids, about those communities that are making a difference.
Letty has a knack for creating solutions in the face of insurmountable odds. At the start of the pandemic, she brought together foundations and donors from both sides of the border to match grants that offset COVID-19 challenges at partner organizations.
Since COVID, donations have changed. From my position, I think they changed in a positive way because people, especially Americans, now that I'm working with Americans, expats, or Mexican Americans living in the US, they are very, very generous. So when a disaster hits, such as COVID or an earthquake, they immediately respond. Last year, in the International Community Foundation, we were able to grant at least $10 million just for immediate response for COVID.
She inspires others by hosting professional development workshops for more than 250 international community grantees.
Be able to give back to the country I'm from, that's amazing, and it's very meaningful.
Letty's devotion to philanthropy is embedded deep in her soul.
It runs in my veins. It's something that I learned from my family, and it's just the way it should be. My mom taught me that at the end of life, you won't bring anything except what you did for the people.
Letty's inspiring leadership is certain to continue influencing others.
I've always thought that philanthropy and fundraising is my life, but now it's 100% sure. I don't want to work for profit. I want to work to change lives and to make a difference, because at the end of life, that's what stays here. The rest, it doesn't matter.
While tonight we honor our NPD winners for their contributions in philanthropy, we also want to take time to recognize the full list of nominees for 2021. These are individuals and organizations who are equally impactful in our community and deserve to be highlighted for their work. Our Outstanding Philanthropist Award recognizes those individuals and families who have demonstrated exceptional generosity and civic responsibility. The Outstanding Volunteer Award honors people who have shown great leadership in coordinating fundraising projects or charitable activities that have a direct impact on the San Diego region. Our Outstanding Organization for Diversity and Inclusion Award recognizes local organizations that have demonstrated leadership and promoted best practices in diversity in a broad range of their activities, including philanthropy. The Outstanding Grantmaking Organization honors those philanthropic organizations in San Diego County that are building a better tomorrow through their programs and grant-making. Our Outstanding Philanthropic Business or Corporation Award celebrates businesses in the community whose gifts or charitable activities enrich the region and serve as a model for other corporations. The Outstanding Development Professional Award recognizes fundraising executives whose actions and leadership exemplify ethical and effective practices in the industry. Last but not least, our Outstanding Youth Student Volunteer Award honors young San Diegans whose efforts promote the spirit of philanthropy and set an example for others to follow. Thank you for your generous work in the San Diego community. Thank you to the nominees for 2021.
Nonprofits are able to make a difference in our region, thanks in large part to the generosity of the many individuals and businesses who believe in the power of philanthropy. And our next honoree does exactly that. Hawthorne Cat is a family-run organization that exemplifies the values of philanthropy and service. Whether it's through the company's generous relief efforts after natural disasters, or its employees competing in a relay race to raise more than $10,000 for local youth, philanthropy is at the core of the company's business. For more than 30 years, Hawthorne Cat has also been a dedicated partner and supporter of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego. We cannot thank them enough for their impact on our region. Congratulations to Hawthorne Cat, the winner of this year's Outstanding Philanthropic Business.
Hawthorne Cat is a family-owned business in San Diego. We're a Caterpillar distributor. We service San Diego, Hawaii, all the way out to Guam and Samoa. Our driving force is building better communities. It's the mission of our company, which means better communities means better people.
For more than 6 decades, the family-run company has been digging deep to provide and support the San Diego community.
Hawthorne's been in business for 65 years, so my grandfathers had a passion for community involvement. We've always been involved with the Boys and Girls Club and YMCA, and most recently Junior Achievement, and many other industry partnerships.
Philanthropy and caring is ingrained in each and every employee's DNA.
When we look at a philanthropic cause, usually it's geared more towards the children. We're investing in our employees and our futures. We have generational employees, family employees. We've had 3 generations of families work for us. Watching that generation and local San Diegans stay in San Diego and continue to invest in the communities that we work and serve and the families that work for us, I think that's the tie that we look for. It's really about future generations.
Hawthorne Cat employees demonstrate humility and selflessness by taking care of their community through good and challenging times.
I think San Diegans take care of each other. With this past year, that you can see why this is so important, why these groups are so important, from Boys and Girls Club to YMCA, Junior Achievement. With COVID hit last year, the after-school programs and the social programs and the support that they offer the communities, it's just critical that we continue to support those groups. It's an investment in the kids, it's an investment in the future, whether they work for a Caterpillar dealer down the road or not.
Hawthorne Cat encourages employees, friends, and families, as well as vendors, to join in volunteerism and fundraising events.
We're blessed and fortunate to live in such wonderful cities and work in such wonderful cities, so I think you reap what you sow, and that's what we try to pay it forward.
Hawthorne Cat is improving lives and building stronger ties in our community.
Everyone at Hawthorne Machinery would like to thank the Boys and Girls Club of San Diego and the YMCA and Junior Achievement. Your partnership means the world to us, and thank you.
Volunteers go above and beyond to tackle society's greatest challenges and transform our region for the better. They give selflessly of their time and talents and never ask for anything in return. In short, they are the lifeblood of our communities. So it's with great honor that I introduce this year's outstanding volunteer, Irma Castro. Irma has been actively involved in community building, education, and mentorship in San Diego for more than 30 years. She helped create an internship program for social work students at San Diego State University and has volunteered on numerous nonprofit boards, including United Way, Domestic Policy Association, and Colegio de la Terra. For her lifetime commitment to change-making, she was inducted into the San Diego Women's Hall of Fame, and even in retirement, she continues to roll up her sleeves as an advocate for change. Nominated by Barrio Logan College Institute, congratulations, Irma, and thank you for inspiring us all to serve.
It seems like it's something I've done all my life. Sometimes I can't make the distinction between paid work and unpaid work, which is what most people see as volunteering.
For more than 40 years, Irma Castro has dedicated her time to community enrichment, education, and mentoring young and old alike.
I like to be able to be a part of what is creating some change in either the life of a child, the life of a family, the life of an individual, the life of a community.
Irma is breaking the cycle of poverty by preparing underserved youth to be first in their families to go to college.
Barrio Logan College Institute really came on my radar at least 25 years ago.
She leads a comprehensive college and career readiness program for low-income families at the Barrio Logan College Institute.
And really grew into an organization that was more than about just tutoring, that it was about inspiring the idea of college into families that could have never seen college as something that was in their life.
Irma brings a wealth of experience to her students. She's taught at MIT, Fresno State, and San Diego State University.
I always want to give to community, to have communities become empowered and to have people find ways to make their life better. And that's basically what It's important to me that we all volunteer. We all have something to give, but more important is we all have something to gain.
Where does her determination come from?
My father was a maintenance man, and my mother was a fish cleaner. And they had dreams about what they wanted for their children. And they worked to that. I tell people there was not a day in my house that there wasn't a newspaper, because my father believed that we needed to know what was happening in the world. Or that my mother made incredible sacrifices so that we would go to school and do the work, and there was never a day in which you did not see yourself from graduating from high school. I think when I stop and look at things, what difference has my volunteering done? I think some of it has been change in social policy. I think some of it has been is seeing a child be happy. It's so varied. And part of it is that there's the individual piece where you're able to help someone grow to where you could actually see a community benefit.
Our final honoree needs very little introduction. In fact, she received a record number of nominations, and rightfully so. Each year, the Award for Outstanding Philanthropist recognizes those who have made significant contributions that transform entire communities. And to say Gwendolyn Sontheim embodies this would be an understatement. The list of lives and organizations that Gwendolyn has touched is never ending. When she sees an unmet need, Gwendolyn immediately takes action. When the pandemic hit, she worried for the unsheltered homeless population and launched into action in partnership with the Lucky Duck Foundation to provide food and water to over 1,000 people a day, and now more than 800,000 meals to date. She founded Feeding San Diego 14 years ago to address the county's hunger gap, and has remained the driving force behind the organization ever since. Similarly, Gwendolyn supports organizations across the county and causes each year that she feels are doing exemplary work on behalf of the betterment of humanity. Her impact spans across the globe, but we're grateful that she has chosen to focus most of her philanthropy here in San Diego. Gwendolyn, I'm joined by many in expressing heartfelt congratulations and thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to present you San Diego's 2021 Outstanding Philanthropist, Gwendolyn Sontheim.
What keeps us healthy as people? You have to have a healthy family. And that means your physical health, your emotional health, your intellectual health, and the love of a family.
Love and compassion for all humankind is what inspires Gwendolyn Sontheim.
For me, there's nothing more important than being able to give back, and give back meaningfully. I really want to make a difference.
She made it her life's mission to improve the quality of life for people here at home and around the world.
I just want to see the world as a better place. I want everybody to have opportunity and have healthy families and access to education and such. As a teenager, young teenager, my father had introduced us to philanthropy, and World Wildlife Fund was one of the organizations that I was really fond of. And little by little, I sort of stumbled upon the whole concept of philanthropy and embraced it.
Sontheim constantly funds organizations, groups, and causes that do work for the betterment of humanity, including Feeding San Diego, Lucky Duck Foundation, and Planned Parenthood.
I look at my philanthropy as a patchwork. It takes a lot of different pieces in the puzzle to come together, and how they all relate so we can multiply the resources in effect. And I thought that if people have access to food and can provide for their families, then they can start learning, they can start helping themselves. You can either give people a fish or a fishing pole, which is teaching them how to fish. If you give them a fish, they're fed for a day. If you give them a fishing pole, they will know how to feed themselves for the rest of their lives.
What sets her apart from many philanthropists is not only does she contribute monetarily, she also rolls up her sleeves, helping pack and distribute food and supplies.
Well, in 5-15 years, I hope that a lot of these problems will be solved. I'm an optimist, but I hope that we go out of business at Feeding San Diego, that the world of hunger is truly minimized, and that people find their way, and that they have jobs that they love, and they have families they can attend to, and children that grow up to have happy lives. Well, I think love is really the essence of a well-lived life, isn't it? I've been very fortunate because I've had very loving parents and came from a loving community and have a lot of friends that I feel so honored to have and share our journey together. So I have to say, I'm just really humbled and so appreciative of this award. I'm not so sure I deserve it because there's so many people that do extraordinary work, and I'm very, very grateful and thankful for it. I know that it means a lot to the community, and hopefully we can continue to do a lot of good work together.
Gwendolyn Sontheim is truly a remarkable woman.
What a celebration! On behalf of AFP San Diego, I'd like to again acknowledge our amazing volunteers and our sponsors who made this celebration possible. We're grateful to each of you viewing for joining us this evening and for the ways you make a difference in our community. Together, we are giving for good and building a brighter tomorrow today. As Youth Poet Laureate Amanda Gorman stated, "For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it."
As the president and CEO of Reality Changers, this award personally means a lot to me. Because I'm a woman of color, but those are not all of my identities. But to be able to be seen as a leader in this work in our community for our students is only going to make our program stronger.
I'd like to start by thanking my parents. You guys have been such an inspiration, and you've really helped push me to do all of these projects. And I've also want to thank my brother because he's been there throughout my journey. I'd also like to thank Mary Doyle, Carroll Dietrich, and Robin Murray from Girl Scouts. I really appreciate all that you guys have done. You have really taught me what it means to be a Girl Scout and what it means to give back to the community.
Today and every day, I thank those that have made me who I am. And that's my ancestors, my parents who just instilled in us a love for each other, a love for family. Looking at my family and saying all of them exemplify some incredible things about how you can make change.
On behalf of the San Diego Foundation, I'm really pleased to be here today to accept this award, but I couldn't do it without the 50 people who staff, lead, manage, and run the San Diego Foundation each and every day.
Receiving the Outstanding Development Professional of the Year award makes me feel proud. Proud of where I've been, where I was, all the lives I was able to collide, like people from Mexico City, people from Tijuana, and people from Europe. Being able to be here now and be able to tend my hand and help them from the position I am now, makes me very proud, and very proud of my team too.
Everyone at Hawthorne Machinery would like to thank the Boys and Girls Club of San Diego and the YMCA and Junior Achievement. Your partnership means the world to us, and thank you.
I want to thank, starting with my parents, and they're no longer here, but they've given me a lot in life. And then there are numerous people in the village I came from who really believed in me, and without them, I don't believe I would be standing in front of you. I have also some mentors that have walked this path with me. My sweetie Rob, my children, most importantly. The ACLU has been a big part of my life, and all the folks at Pacific Ridge as well. And of course, Feeding San Diego